Hello, my name is Paul Scarfone, and I've been teaching the seniors and juniors at Koinonia Academy for the last 2 years, Foundations in Personal Finance. We meet every other week. I tell them it's the most important class they're going to learn at school because it's something that they're going to have their entire life. The class seems to be going well. Hopefully they've brought some topics home to you to discuss with you. But today the topic I want to talk about, something that comes up a lot in this age group, is how do we determine how much college we can afford? And we've spent a lot of time talking on why they don't want to borrow student loans and some of the lies that get told to us about student loans. One of the most common is a student loan is an investment in your future, in your child's future. That's not true. It's a chain around their neck. Kids come out of school these days, $60, $70, $200, $300,000 in student loan debt. And that is not setting up your child for success. It's a myth that, you're just going to sign away all these student loans and you're going to come out making so much money you'll be able to pay these off quickly, or maybe the government will make them go away. It's simply not true. So we want to stay away from student loans. And when I say that to parents and to students, the first question is usually like, well, then how do we go to school without debt free? We didn't save up all this money to go to school. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Before we do that, there's three main factors that go into determining which school we're going to go to. The first one is really, is there a faith environment on campus that our child's going to be able to plug into? We've spent their entire life raising them up in the faith, trying to support them in their walk with the Lord. We don't want to send them to college and get a degree at the cost of maybe losing that faith. So is there an environment on campus at college that they're going to be able to plug into, that they're going to feel supported and encouraged in their faith? Secondly is academics. Right? Are they going to a school that they're going to be able to study something that they can actually turn into a job or a career down the road? Right? Or if they know what they want to study, nursing, engineering, whatever it might be, is that something the school offers? That's an important one. And thirdly, we need to pick a school that we can afford. And so again, that's what we're going to be going over today. So in class, we've brought this up. We went through a little scenario with the kids a couple weeks ago. And a few of them said, hey, it would be really, really helpful if you could talk to my parents. So in an effort to provide some of that information to you and not call everyone in for a meeting, forgive my quality of video. This is not, video production is not what I do, but this is just an attempt to hopefully give you some good information and some resource that you can use when talking to your kids about how much they can afford on school. So the exercise we did, I asked one of the young ladies in the classroom, I said, how much do you make at your full-time job? What's your take-home pay if you work, a 40-hour week or a full-time week? What's your take-home pay? And she told me it was $500. So I'm going to put that up here. Forgive my handwriting. I'm going to try to write it big enough so you can see it. $500 a week take-home pay, okay? So then I said, let's think about how much you're going to make in a given year. So, the seniors are going to graduate this year, end of May. So they have all of June, July, and August to work, right? So 3 full months. Let's take a couple weeks off of August. So we'll say 4 weeks in June, 4 weeks in July, 2 weeks in August, because they might be starting school or there might be a family vacation somewhere in there. So we got summer. Summer, we have 10 weeks, okay? Now, we're not going to talk about while they're at school yet, but let's just think through this. They go to school, they're in class September, October, November. December, they have finals. They get out probably halfway through December, right? So that's 2 weeks in December, and then you've probably got 2 more in January before the next semester starts. We'll take 1 week off, Christmas, visiting with family, right? So we'll say a week in December, 2 weeks in January. So they have 3 more weeks in the winter that they can work full time, right? And then the next semester starts in, January, February, March, April, graduate in May, and then they're back to June, July, right? That's how it goes. So we're just looking at a full year here. So let's just think for a second while they're in school, all right? So I'm gonna put school up here, and let's just think while they're in school. And you might say, hey, Paul, I don't know if my kid's going to be working during school. The job they have right now is over here. School's over there. That's fine. Again, we're going to go through this exercise. This is something you have to go through your children. These numbers, where one scenario, it's kind of fiction in the sense that we're just going to kind of make these up, but you have to use your child's information. If they've got a job where they're making $700 a week, if they've got a job they're making $200 a week, use those numbers, right? It's going to help you figure all of this out. But so let's just think about while they're in school. Look, they're going to have, if it's 15 credits, that's a full load. That means about 15 hours in class, like actually in class. Maybe some labs will add time to that. You're going to probably spend at least 15 to 20 hours outside of the classroom studying, reading, maybe more time than that. But there's still tons of time that your child's going to be awake, right? And they're going to have an opportunity to go to work. I know from my own personal life, right, my own personal experience, the more I work, the more trouble I stay out of, right? Especially in your college years, right? So having a part-time job during college would be really, really helpful. How much of a part-time job? Is it 10 hours, 20 hours, 30 hours, 40 hours? What does that look like? It's going to be depending on how much income your child needs to be earning in order to avoid going into debt for school. So we're going to just, in this scenario, let's say it's 20 hours a week. They got 20 hours a week. Maybe it's 3-4 nights a week that they're waiting tables or something like that. And we're going to just keep using this scenario. So during school, let's see, how many weeks are there? We've got 4 in September, 4 in October, 4 in November. That gives us 12. And we said December was halftime, right? So 2 in December. So we've got 14. So I'm going to say first semester, first S, we got 14 weeks. And if you think the second semester, between February, March, April, and May, you're going to have the same thing. So second semester, you also have 14 weeks, okay? Now, we just said this gives us 28 weeks, but we said that was part-time, right? PT. Put that here so we all remember. Part-time, 20 hours. So 28 part-time weeks is the equivalent of what? 14 full-time weeks. So school, we've got 14, the equivalent of 14 full-time weeks, okay? So here we have 27 weeks, technically a full-time work that your child can do, right? We know how much we make per week, 500. So let's do this math. So we have 27 weeks times $500 per week, and that equals, I can do this, $13,500, right? So that's how much money your child's going to make over the course of the year, right? So we go, all right, so let's figure out what our expense is. For sake of this exercise, we're not going to talk about room and board, right? Whether they're living at home, if they're in a dorm, if they're in a household somewhere. We're just going to take that off the table for a second. If room and board is covered, how much money does your child need to just like live, right? Maybe lunch here or there, a hobby, doing something with a friend, gas in the vehicle, they pay their own cell phone bill, I don't know. Let's just say it's $100 a week, right? A kid in college can absolutely live on $100 of money a week. So that's $400 for the month. And if we multiply that for the year, because we're looking at yearly numbers now, that's $4,800, right? So $4,800, and we'll just call this spending, right? So we're going to subtract $4,800 from here, and let's see, 700 comes in 2, so $8,700 is what they have remaining. So I asked the kids, I said, hey, can you go to school for a year for $8,700? There were some kids that were shaking their head yes, some kids shaking their head no, some blank stares, right? One of the kids spoke up and said, yeah, county college. I can go to county college for that. So I looked it up. I looked up Somerset and Hunterdon County, which is Raritan Valley Community College. It's $167 or $168 a credit. That's about $5,000 for the year, okay? So, yes, you can absolutely go to a county college, right? We'll put that here, for $5,000. And what's left after that? We have $3,700, right? That we didn't need for school. We're going to stick that over here, and we'll put this savings. That's in our savings account over here, $3,700. So let's just look at this for a second. And this is year one. This is year one. We just worked our butt off, and we got through our first year. We paid for school, went to county college, but we even had money left over, right? So that was pretty cool. So let's do that again. We go through the second year. Same thing with the work. Look, I'm not even assuming we got a raise, but maybe you did, right? Math still stays the same. On year 2, we spent another $5,000 here. Whoop. And we have another $3,700 in savings. Pretty cool beans, right? But now it's our third year. We can't go to county college, so we've got to look for a university to finish our degree. I looked up Kane University, in-school, in-state tuition. Tuition for the whole year is $12,500, so $12,500, right? So, $12,500 is what they have to pay for the year. So we just did this whole thing for year 3. $8,700 doesn't make $12,500. So we're not gonna. Well, wait a second. We have $3,700 that we saved from the first year. So $8,700 plus $3,700 is, let's do this math here for a second. $8,700 plus $3,700 is 0.04. Woo! Oh man, $12,400. We're short $100. Be a good parent. Give your kid $100. Help them to go to school debt free, right? Oh, year 3 done. That was cool, right? And you know what? And this is gone. But the 4th year, we could do the same thing. $8,700 plus $3,700 is $12,400 again. Year 4, your kid just went to college without borrowing any money. They're going to be able to come out of school and just get started with life. They're not going to have this weight, this heavy chain of student loans around their neck, right? Like, this is the exercise we want to be able to do with our kids. Now, I know there's going to be some questions, right? Well, my kid's not going to county college. My kid doesn't make $500 a week. I don't plan to have my child working during school. I mean, that's fine, right? But your goal needs to be, how do I set my child up for success? It's a myth that just getting a good degree is going to land a great job and all these loans are just going to go poof and disappear and your kid will be able to go along with no problems. I help people. I help people with their paying off their student loans. People that are in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, that they still haven't paid off their student loans. It's still a weight around their neck, and they wish their parents did this for them. Right? Now, I know as a parent, we want to be proud of our kids' accomplishments and stuff. We get an acceptance letter from school. We might get very, very excited and almost blinded at what that's going to look like. But we're excited. It's a prestigious school. We want to be able to put that name of that school on our front lawn. We want to put it on our car, on our bumper sticker, so that other parents know that we're a good parent. We've got our kid to a prestigious school. But at what cost? Right? If you got a full ride and everything's paid for, go for it. Awesome. Congratulations. But if you don't, we got to do this. And we got to help our kids out so that they feel like they're learning from their parents. They're not going to look back and go, man, I wish my parents had taught me some of this or helped me make some of these better decisions. So here's our opportunity to do it. Now, we didn't cover room and board and stuff. So maybe in this scenario, someone's living at home, right? These are local schools in New Jersey. Someone's living at home. You're their parent. You help them out. They're living off $100 a week, right? And you kind of feed them and let them live there. But maybe you're able to give them a few bucks every month. Maybe you're able to cover $1,000 a month. $1,000 a month is probably going to cover most households or dorms or something if your kid's going to be traveling somewhere. Maybe you've saved some money for college, right? Maybe your savings account for your kid starts with $10,000 already, or maybe $20,000. Maybe this is something you've been looking towards and working on. Maybe you're going to get financial aid, not student loans, but actual grants. Maybe you're a big family, low income, something like that, where you're going to be able to get some free money to go to school. Maybe you are getting scholarships, and you're going to have a head start on some of these things. Right? There's a bunch of those factors I didn't take into account. But the truth is, you've got to do this exercise with your child. Look at what monies you have available for school, if you're going to be able to help them, if there's scholarships, financial aid, and come up with the number of what you can actually afford on school every year. Right? If there's a school that's a little bit out of reach, well, can we work a little more? can we get a little bit of a raise? You know, how can we figure this out so that we can go to school debt free? It doesn't take a lot of work. This isn't hard math, right? This is like what, fifth grade math maybe. So we want to be able to figure this out with our kids and help set them up for success. And like on the spiritual side, when you come out with student loan debt, if you feel like God's calling you to be in a mission, pursue a religious vocation, become a priest, you're not going to be able to do that with student loan debt. So let's help our kids out, not put a student loan chain around their neck, but rather do this work with them, help them figure out how to go to school debt free, so that when they're done with school, however the Lord tugs on their heart and calls them, they're going to be able to go pursue Him. If you have any questions, and this might be a little too simple for some of your scenarios, you might have much more complicated scenarios, I'm happy to help. I want to help set these kids up for success. So I'll leave my name, Paul Scarfone, my number, my email address. If you'd like me to kind of go through your scenario with you and see what options you might have, I'm happy to do that to help these kids out. God bless.